Hello. In this video, you're going to learn how to add lights to your Blender scene. We'll look at three important types of lights: point light, sunlight, and spotlight. By the end of this video, you'll understand what each one does and when to use it. Let's start by adding our first light. Make sure you are in object mode, and you can switch between modes by pressing tab on your keyboard. Once you're in object mode, press Shift A and then go to the light menu. Here you will see several different types of lights. For this video, we'll focus on point, sun, and spot as I mentioned before. So first of all, let's try out the point light. A point light works a little bit like a light bulb. It sends light out in all directions from a single point. What we can do over here is move this light slightly above the diamond. Let's press G on our keyboard and Z, so we will move the light just above over here next to the diamond. As you can see, nothing really happened yet. So what we want to do is we want to go to the rendered viewport. As you can see, it still looks like we have absolutely no light in the scene. To make the light more powerful, you can change a couple of settings over here. You can change the power, exposure, and radius. And also you can switch the color if you want to make your light a different color. Let's start by adding more radius to the light. So let's pull this light over here through the diamond and also next to the pillars. Now that we've done that, let's go and change the power. As you can see, we can start to see light forming on our objects. For this example, let's set power to 100 and exposure to 2. As you can see right now, we have a light bulb. This light is emitting light in all directions around it. As you can see, for example, if you look at the back side of this pillar, there is no light on this side, but there is light on this side. If you want to have more light on your object, the easiest way is to actually move it closer to your object so it gets more of the exposure from the middle of the light. Now let's also change the color of this light and let's make it light blue. Now that we've done that and actually placed it above this diamond, it kind of looks like the diamond is emitting blue light, but only from the top. The pillars have the blue hue on them and I think it looks pretty cool. Now that you've seen how the point light works, let's try out the sunlight. Once again, press Shift plus A and go to light and press on sun. Now you can see that there is light coming down from the top on these objects over here. You can see the shadows, for example, over here of these small icons over here and over here as well. But the pillars, they have no shadows because the light is coming straight from above. So as you can see, the sunlight works different from a point light. The important thing is to remember that the sunlight behaves like sunlight coming from a very, very distant source. Because of this, moving the sunlight doesn't change the lighting in the same way as moving a point light. What matters the most is the rotation. Changing the rotation changes the direction the light is coming from. And you can change the rotation of the sun by clicking on your light source and then pressing R on your keyboard. Now you can rotate it in any direction. You can also use X and Y to do it on a certain axis, for example like this. And now we have light actually coming from the right side of the scene. Just like with the point light, we can change its power and color. If you adjust the strength over here on a lower number, you can see that the sunlight is slowly fading away, but as you go more and more up, it's becoming stronger and stronger. It's the same with exposure. If you put it more downwards, there's less exposure from the sun. If you move it upwards, you can see how harsh the light can actually get. Now for the final light, let's look at the spotlight. Press Shift A once again, go to light and go to spot. A spotlight creates a cone of light pointing in one direction, unlike the point, which is creating a sphere of light all around it. Let's move our cone light up above over here, above the diamond, just like this, and change some of the settings. We can change the exposure and also the radius if you'd like to. But what we are going to do right now is just change the power and exposure. And if you're thinking right now, why is the diamond not glowing? It's because the material on this diamond is actually absorbing the light. But for example, if we would click on this light and actually rotate it in any other direction, for example to this pillar, we can see that there is actual cone light that is being pointed at the pillar and creating a shadow on the ground. You can also do this side to get a bit of this donut as well, and you can see the shadows forming. Of course, once again, you can also change the color. The cone light is perfect when you want to illuminate a specific area on your scene. Think of it like a flashlight or a stage spotlight on a theater, in the movies, at a concert. This is what the spotlight is. If we would compare these three lights to each other, then the point light, it's like a light bulb sending light in all directions. Sunlight, like sunlight coming from a distant source, and spotlight, like a flashlight sending light in one direction. Once you understand these three, you already have a great foundation for lighting in Blender. Let's create a super simple lighting setup. So here you go, we've added 1 point light and 3 spotlights. Now you can see how you can light up your scene. This is a super simple and basic example, but from this scene it looks like there's 3 light sources showing lights onto the pillars, and then this diamond over here in the middle is actually glowing slightly. Good lighting helps us see the shape of the model and makes the materials easier to appreciate. I hope that this video was helpful. Take care. Bye bye.